Revelation chapter 6. Just going to hit the first two verses. Coming out of King James, it says, "And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw and beheld a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer." So, we'll start with the first seal and just keep it going. Go ahead.
Keep it going. Well, let's now. Okay, so we're starting something new tonight. You guys are going to have to help me out. We're starting something new, so let's go through a little quick review. The first three chapters of Revelations, we did that, and that talked about 2,000 years of what? What was the first three chapters? 2,000 years of what?
Of the church.
2,000 years of the church. So we studied church history from the first church to how many churches did we come up with? How many churches? The guy back there in the back, behind the screen, has the 7 fingers up. So 7 churches. So the first 3 chapters of Revelations, we went through the church history up until including today. About 2,000 years of history in 3 chapters. Wow! And we covered a lot of time there, didn't we? And that covered 7 churches. Then we went to chapters 4 and 5. We said in chapters 4, we as the church had left this earth, and we as the church is in heaven. So what was going on in chapters 4 and 5? What was happening there? We had a great celebration around the throne, and then there was this book that we tried to find someone who could open the book, and we finally found the Lamb or the Son of God to open the book, and he was given a book. And what was around the book? What was around the scroll? Seals, that's right. And how many seals were there? 7 seals. So here we go. So we had 7 churches. Now we go to 7 seals. And so, we had a great time there. And I can only guess. But now we had a great celebration. Think about it now, guys. We have left the earth, and now we're in heaven. Are we celebrating a little bit?
Yes.
Of course we are. Yeah, we're celebrating a little bit. We shout a little bit. We're excited a little. Yeah, so we're having a great time. And I don't know how long this time lasts. I mean, I don't know, 6 months, 9 months, a year, from chapter 3, the end of chapter 3, till the end of chapter 5. So we have 2 chapters. We're in heaven. And so the church is not here on this earth. Now, this coronavirus has been going on for like 4 months, approximately since March.
Available.
Yeah, well, yeah. So since so you look at all the things that have happened in the United States and in the world in 4 months.
Yeah.
All the crazy things that's happened, the shutting down of America and trying to get it reopened back up, and the riots and the pulling down of statues and just
No coins, no cash.
no. Nobody can. I don't know what has happened to the money. We've had plagues, and we had the sandstorm come over, and all these. You imagine all the stuff that's happened in 4 months. So you take the church out of this earth for 6 months, or 9 months, or a year, and I'm just guessing, guys. I don't know how long we're out. What do you think is going on in this earth while we're up in heaven having this great celebration? Rough time. Do you say rough time? Chaos. Look at what's happened on the earth now with the church here. Imagine what's going on. Now the church is gone, so imagine what's going on the earth. I mean, if this can happen in 4 months with the church here, imagine if the church has been going 11 months or 12 months. I would really tell you that we probably wouldn't even recognize the earth. What are they trying to do? They're trying to defund the police. Well, what happens if we're out here and they do defund? No police. But think of all the things that they're trying to do now. What if they get accomplished all the things they're trying to accomplish it gets accomplished. Open the borders up. No country has no borders. Anybody can come and go. There's no government really. There's nobody has any control. They do away with the military. I saw on the news where one legislature was going to give them money if they closed down their prisons. He would give the state, or she would give the state, a bunch of money. So imagine all the prisons are closed down. All the inmates are turned loose. I mean, so here we are in heaven, and there's total chaos here on this earth. And so here we go, and we start a whole new chapter, and we're going to start the tribulation period. And again, the church is gone. Governments can't control their people. There's going to be one catastrophe after another. Riots in the streets. You call 911, no one's showing up. There's no one to show up. May not even be no 911. You think they'll take all your guns away? Of course they will. Yeah, they'll come. Nobody will have any guns. Nobody will have any weapons to defend themselves. I mean, it's going to be total chaos. So there's where we're at, and we're opening up it's going to be so. The Bible tells us it's going to be so bad we can't even imagine how bad it's going to be. So now we're opening up with chapter 1. I'm going to go over here to the was the NLT.
Correct.
As I watched, the Lamb broke the first of 7 seals on the scroll. Then I heard one of the 4 living beings say with a voice like thunder, "Come." I looked up and I saw a white horse standing there. His rider carried a bow, and a crown was placed on his head, and he rode out to win many battles and gain the victory. All right. So who's in control of what things is going on in heaven and in earth? Who's in control? The Lamb. Christ is in control. There's no doubt. So we've had this great time of celebration. We've had this great time of worshiping around the throne. But now things are getting busy in heaven and things are getting busy on the earth. But still yet, Christ is in control. See, make no mistake about it, who's in control. So he's in control. Now, the church is gone. There's total chaos on the earth. So who do you think this is riding this white horse? Huh?
Jesus.
He thinks it's Jesus.
Yeah, I do.
Who do you think?
The Antichrist.
Debbie thinks it's the Antichrist. Now, where is Jesus at?
He's in heaven.
He's in heaven. He's directing things. In fact, chapter 1 tells us, and I watched, and the chapter 1, verse 1, and the Lamb broke the, so it's not Christ.
Okay, so he's the Antichrist.
It's the Antichrist. Do we have a picture? Do we have a picture of this guy? We'll get the picture and I'll read what I got. Man, he stepped out on the scene. Here you go. Here's a good picture there. There we have the guy. A crown is given to him. Who would give the Lord Jesus a crown? No one could give. He got a crown. So he's got a sword, and there he's got a white horse. Now we saw many depictions of these guys, and there's going to be the 4 horsemen. And so throw up the 4 horsemen. This is the guy on the white horse, and we got a depiction of the 4 horsemen. We'll get to them, and we'll see. So there he is. That's the same fellow. And there's a guy on a red horse and a black horse. Wow. Them guys get worse. They get worse and worse and worse as they go, don't they?
Yes.
All right, let me read what I got here. And then we'll get some scriptures. Christ is now in full power and full control. We and everything in heaven is moving at his command. Things are happening quickly and with particular purpose. This is the Antichrist. He comes on a white horse pretending to be the Savior of the world. The world is out of control. Governments cannot control their own people. The Antichrist steps out into the world scene saying he can bring peace to the world. Most world leaders and people don't care where he comes from. With all the chaos going on in the world, they just want peace. So here is the Antichrist. What are we going to call him? King, Caesar, emperor, dictator, world ruler? I don't know what kind of, what would we call this guy? If he's in charge of the whole world, he's given power to be in charge of the whole. So what is his title? What would you guys call him? I don't know. I was thinking all kinds of different names. There's the one in there I didn't put in there though. Whatever his title is given, whatever his title, he is given the authority to take over the whole world, and whosoever doesn't bow to him, he will conquer. All right. Debbie, grab your Bible. Guys, get your Bible. Let's run over here to 2 Thessalonians and let's talk a little bit about this guy. We got a few verses we're going to get to here, and we'll try to get to them quickly. Thessalonians, Philippians, Colossians. Huh? 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians, then we're going to go, of course, then we're going to go to Daniel. We'll talk a little bit. All right. I'm going to have, everybody grab 2 Thessalonians. I'm going to have, now can you read, Jimmy,
Yeah, I'm reading with one good eye.
Okay, one good eye.
Yeah.
All right, so Debbie, I want you to read verses 3 and 4. And then we'll go to Jimmy with 5 and 8. And then we'll go with Mary 9 and 12.
2 Thessalonians chapter what?
I think it's chapter 2.
3 and 4?
3 and 4.
Don't be fooled by what they say, for that day will not come until there is a great rebellion against God, and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the one who brings destruction. He will exalt himself and defy everything the people call God and every object of worship. He will even sit in the temple of God, claiming that he himself is God.
Now, we're going to get to that. I'm just giving you a little taste of what we're talking about here because this is going to go on in Revelation. But it said, don't be fooled by what they say, for that day will come until there's a great rebellion. Again, of course there's a great rebellion. The church is gone. So of course there's a great rebellion against God, and the man of lawlessness is revealed. The one who brings what? What does he bring? Destruction. This guy's going to bring destruction. He will exalt himself and defy everything that people call God and every object of worship. He will even sit in the temple of God claiming that he himself is God. So this is the Antichrist. This is what he's going to do. Okay, Jimmy, 5, what did I tell you? 5 through...
5 and 6. You say 2 Thessalonians chapter 1?
2 Thessalonians chapter 2.
Chapter 2, okay, here we go.
5 through 8.
5 through 8, okay, let's see. Okay. Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and now ye know what was told that he might be revealed in this time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
Okay, so we're here on the earth, and we're hopefully being led and controlled by the Holy Spirit. But then we're out of the earth. So the Holy Spirit, because he's held the man of lawlessness back, because we're here, we're going. He's allowed to be turned loose. And he's allowed to have reign. He's allowed to be turned loose and do what he wants to do. Now, if you turn Satan loose and allow him to do what he wants to do, what's he going to do? What's Satan going to do?
All kinds of iniquity.
All kinds of iniquity. The Bible says he came to do what?
Kill,
Steal, and destroy. So this says this guy's going to bring great destruction. Of course he is. He's going to be following Satan. He's coming to kill, steal, and destroy. Again, I just want to give you a taste of this guy. But we know that Christ is going to defeat him. It tells us real quickly that he's going to be defeated by Christ. But it goes on. So let's go with 9 through 12.
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause God shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness.
Wow. Is that not strong? You have it over there? You got the King James, you got it over there?
What would you like?
I want you to read it, read verse 9. And then we'll go read verse 9. How strong is this? What did it say there? Wow. It's hard even to say that. So read verse 9 for me, Pastor, if you would.
Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders.
So lying wonders, counterfeit, lying miracles, lying power, counterfeit signs. See, these are lying signs and stuff. They're not true. They seem to be true. They're lying signs. All right, verse 10.
Continue.
Yeah, just read verse 10.
And with all deceitfulness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, and that they might be saved.
So this is evil deception. See that? Evil deception. Say what this is. And people don't want to believe the truth. They don't want to believe this evil deception. They don't want to believe the truth. Remember, the church is not here to tell them anything different. Now, there's going to be some people here, there's going to be a remnant here, but they're not going to be listened to. Evil deception. All right, verse 11.
And for this cause God shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie.
Isn't this kind of strange? God is going to send them strong delusions and allow them to believe a lie. We're gone. God is here to protect us. We're in the strong right hand of God. But see, there's a change here on earth. God's going to allow them and cause them to believe this lie. He's going to send them strong delusion. God is going to do that. Who's still in control of this earth?
God.
Yeah, see, he's still in control. And read the last part and listen to what the last part says, guys. This is that right out of the Bible.
That they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness.
That they all might be what? What does that mean? Don't sound like they're going to find their self in heaven. Daniel chapter 7. Run over there to Daniel chapter 7, guys. We'll read a little bit about Daniel here. You knew I was going to get to Daniel sooner or later. And you jump in there anywhere you want to, Pastor.
No, go ahead. You're doing good, and you're on a path. I like
Oh, I'm on a path. All right. Maybe it's not a good path. All right. You have your Bibles back there in the back. Chip and Faith. We're going to Daniel chapter 7. All right. One of you read 7, verse 7 and 8. Then we'll read that. Then we're going to go to 19 to 21. And then we're going to come up here to Adam. And if you read 23 to 25. So whichever one you back there starts, I want you to read Daniel chapter 7, verses 7 and 8. So we're in Daniel chapter 7, verses 7 and 8. Then 19 through 21. Then 23 through 25. And then chapter 28. So Daniel chapter 7, 7 through 8.
Then in a vision that night I saw a fourth beast, terrifying, dreadful, and very strong. It devoured and crushed its victims with huge iron teeth and trampled their remains beneath its feet. It was different from any other beast, and it had 10 horns. As I was looking at the horns, suddenly another small horn appeared among them. 3 of the first horns were torn out by the roots to make room for it. This little horn had eyes like human eyes and a mouth that was boasting and arrogant.
This little horn had eyes like human eyes, had a mouth that was boasting arrogantly. All right, now we're going to see this guy. We're not here yet in chapter 6. We're going to find this guy out, and so I'm not going to get into this a whole lot, but I want to give you a taste of what's coming. Now this beast here is the fourth beast of the four beasts. And I got you stuff coming. I want you to get a taste of it because there's stuff going on. But listen to this guy. He crushed his victims with huge iron teeth and trampled their remains beneath his feet. Sounds like there's going to be a lot of fun here on this earth when we're not here, doesn't it? All right, run over there to 19 through 21. I'm just giving you a taste of what we're going to get into now.
Then I wanted to know the true meaning of the fourth beast, the one so different from the others and so terrifying. It had devoured and crushed its victims with iron teeth and bronze claws, trampling the remains beneath its feet. I also asked about the 10 horns on the fourth beast's head and the little horn that came up afterward and destroyed 3 of the other horns. This horn had seemed greater than the others, and it had human eyes and a mouth that was boasting arrogantly. As I watched, this horn was waging war against God's holy people and was defeating them.
Who was he waging war against?
God's holy
Same as God's people.
God's holy people. Wow. Now, who do you think that's going to be?
Us.
Huh? Now, we're not. We're gone. We're in heaven.
There's this little country over there in the Middle East. It's right in the middle of everything.
Israel,
Israelites.
Jews, Israelites, yeah. Yeah. So here we're in heaven. So now we see that Revelations from here on out has a lot to do with this little country over there in the Middle East. This has a lot to do with this little country over there in the Middle East. I just want to give you a taste of what's coming on. He's waging war against God's holy people. I tell you what's going on down here on the earth. Now, he's just killing everybody he can kill, destroying everybody he can destroy, but he really wants to get to this little country over there in the Middle East. All right, verse Adam 23 through 25.
Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall trim it down, and break it into pieces. And the 10 horns out of his kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kingdoms. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear all the saints of the Most High, and think of changed times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time that times and the dividing of time.
There you go.
So there you go. So now he's going to fight against the God's people, and then he himself, he's going to defy the most holy, the most high, and oppose his holy people. And then he's going to try to change their laws and change their festivals and change their times and change the Bible and change the Word of God and change. This is what's going to be going on real quickly. And what's it say in verse 28? Can you read verse 28? The last verse.
Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cognitions much trouble me, and my countenance changed in me, but I keep the matter in my heart.
So Daniel's saying this dream terrified him, didn't it?
Yes.
This dream just terrified him. All right, we'll quickly. We're going to run to Daniel chapter 11. I'm going to slow it down here, guys. I just want to give you a taste of what we got coming. We're going to talk about this Antichrist because we're going to be talking a lot about Israel, and we're going to be talking a lot about this Antichrist. And then we're going to talk, there's going to be 3. And those 3, now we got the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. We're going to have Satan, the Antichrist, and what? There'll be a third one. We'll get to it. You guys don't know where I'm going, but we'll get to it. So we're going to have 3. Chapter 11, 31 through 36. Debbie, we'll go back to you. 31, there's a lot to read. If I can get you to read 31 through 36.
Okay. His army will take over the temple fortress, pollute the sanctuary, put a stop to the daily sacrifices, and set up the sacrilegious object that causes desecration. He will flatter and win over those who have violated the covenant. But the people who know their God will be strong and will resist him. Wise leaders will give instruction to many, but these teachers will die by fire and sword, or they will be jailed and robbed. During these persecutions, little help will arrive, and many who join them will not be sincere. And some of the wise will fall victim to the persecution. In this way, they will be refined and cleansed and made pure until the time of the end, for the appointed time is still to come. The king will do as he pleases, exalting himself and claiming to be greater than every god, even blaspheming the God of gods. He will succeed, but only until the time of wrath is completed. For what has been determined will surely take place.
Wow. Someone do something with that guy back there. All right, so we're gonna talk about a few things. He uses the word sacrilegious here. He uses the object that causes desecration. We're going to talk about that, but not tonight. But now this guy is going to do some things. So when we get to this, I want you to know what he's talking about here. He's going to set himself up to be God. He's going to say, I am God. He's going to blaspheme the name of God. He's going to, people that are going to oppose him, he's either going to kill them, rob them, put him in jail, kill, steal, and destroy. That's what he's going to do to people that oppose him. And then there's going to be a few people that come out and say they want to oppose him, but they're really not going to be sincere. He's going to be able to have a good speech. He's going to use flattery and good speech. Evidently, this guy, I won't give you all the description of him, but evidently this guy is well spoken, and he must be a handsome guy. People admire him. He's a handsome fella. He's got good talk. And he can bring peace to the world. See? And they look at what he says and they say, wow, that's what we need. And he's going to bring, and there is going to be peace for a very short time until the second horse gets released, until we go to horse number 2. But there is going to be a very short-lived peace when he comes upon the scene. Who is this guy? I'm going to read one more thing, chapter 8. Jimmy, if you would, go to chapter 8, or Mary, either one. Daniel chapter 8. Whichever one of you want to read, 23 through 27, and then we'll just talk here a little bit. Yeah. 23 through 27.
Here we go. And in the latter time of their kingdom, when the transgressors are come to the full, a king of fierce countenance and understanding dark sentences shall stand up, and his power shall be mighty, but not by his own power. And he shall destroy wonderfully, and shall prosper and practice, and shall destroy the mighty and the holy people. And through this policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand. And he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. And the vision of the evening and the morning which was told is true. Wherefore shut thou up the vision, for it shall be for many days. And I, Daniel, fainted, and I was sick certain days afterward. I rose up and did the king's business, and I was astonished at the vision, but none understood it.
Oh, so here this guy is. So he's arrogant, but he's powerful. He uses words of flattery, but people listen to him. He destroys even the holy people, the most holy people. He destroys them. Even battles against the Prince of Peace. Is that what it said? Prince of Peace? Prince of Princes? Who is he? He's trying to battle God here, see? Yeah. And he doesn't seem to care. He thinks he's God. So we have this guy. I'm going to kind of walk us through it a little bit. So we have this guy. He's a world leader. Yeah, now is he in charge of a country? Is he in charge of a religion? He's a world leader. He's on the stage. He's on the scene. He's well spoken. He can speak different languages because when he speaks, he can speak languages that everybody understands, or he can speak several different languages. A well-spoken person, some kind of a world leader. People admire him to the point of worshiping him. They admire him to the point of worshiping him. You know, he's on the scene and he says, I have the authority and the power to bring peace to this world. And he does. Now, who is this guy? He may not be here today, but we believe he is here today. He's on the scene somewhere. He may be a vice president. Or we'll just say vice president. But he may not be. He may be waiting in the wings to step out on the threshold. But if he was a world leader, what country would he be in charge of? Huh?
In control of all of them, so in a position that.
So somehow he's able to control all countries at the same time right now. He's got some kind of control of all countries of the whole world right now.
I don't think it's sinking in.
Oh, it's amazing. What do you got there, brother?
Are you trying to, well,
Oh, it might be
he
sinking in.
could have, the United Nations.
Yeah, United Nations, very good.
Could be the Vatican.
The Vatican, very good.
Could be somebody in charge of, say, the world economy.
Yeah.
Somebody who has strong influence in computers and
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera.
They say the greatest computer there is in Belgium, right? And he's sitting there in Belgium, and it runs there with a supercomputer. So Chip, it's got to be, right? Somebody who's the head of a religion that has people in almost every country. Well, of course, he said the Vatican, because it could be Muslim, could be a religion that someone that you look to, a Komoni or something like that. Could be the head of the United Nations. I don't know who the head of the United Nations is right now, but it could be someone who's the head of the United Nations, someone who's the head of the World Health Organization, who says, oh, I can stop all this stuff that's going on, see? So a world organization that has influence in all the different countries. And we're going to go with it, and that's very good. I don't want to end right there, but this is a good place to end. So when you get in your word, read your word and say, who could this... we can't say this is the guy sitting there right now in that office. But think how the world changes. Think how quickly this could change in 1 year, or 5 years, or 10 years. How quickly things could change. And the person that's in that office right now may be a perfectly good guy, but the person who takes over that office, the person who steps out on the world scene 5 years from now, 10 years from now. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying it's that particular person, but maybe the guy waiting in the wings to take over. The head of the United Nations, the head of the World Health Organization, the head of different religions. There's so many different religions. And don't they have control?
Yes.
Don't they have some influence? And can't some of these guys speak several different languages? You know? So when we start with this guy, I'm sorry, I haven't given you anything. Huh?
All right.
He's going on vacation. We had to give him a break. When we start with this guy that steps out on the world scene, think of who he is. Now, we've got horns. We've got coming up out of the sea. We've got horns being destroyed. What in the world is all that? We're going to get into it. And we're not going to leave you hanging, guys. We're going to give you answers. We're just giving you a taste of what's coming. And then we got another horse to do next Wednesday night. It's a different horse. You got him up there? What color is the first horse? What color is the second horse? So we got the second. What's the next horse?
Black.
And what's the next one?
Could be pale, could be green, depends on your translation and what you're reading.
Wow. And that last one, man, the first one don't look too bad. The next one, yeah. Boy, I tell you what. They're going downhill. That's what I'm saying. It gets worse and worse and worse. Guys, I want to tell you, it's going to be that way if you know anybody on this earth that's not saved. Get them saved, because the first guy is bad. The second guy, and it just goes that way, worse and worse and worse. Things aren't getting better. Things are going to get worse and worse and worse. Wow. And the Bible says there's going to be a great falling away. What do we see now? We see churches that's not even meeting. I saw today on the news a pastor, a world-renowned pastor in charge of one of the biggest churches in the United States, said they were not going to meet the rest of this year. This year.
So turn off the camera.
Huh?
So when we turn off the camera, you tell me who that is. I didn't see them today.
Oh, you know.
I didn't see it.
I will turn it off. I'll tell you all who it is when we turn off the camera. Yeah, a huge church.
Wow.
30,000 members.
Wow.
30,000 members will not meet the rest of this year. Huh?
This is the time we need the church most.
This is the time.
Thank you, Faith. Is this not the time we need each other? Is this not the time we need the church most? And let me tell you guys this one thing too, and you guys out there listening on YouTube. If you're in a church this meeting, and you're the only church that's meeting, who does Satan have to fight against?
That church.
That church. So guys, we need to be prayed up. We need to be serious about what we're doing. We need to be ready, because if Satan's got all the churches in the community closed down but one or two, who's he going to come against? That one or two. See, he's got to fight against us. So, but of course, if we're prayed up, if we're studying the Bible, if we're living the right life, the devil can't touch us. But if there's flaws in our character, you know, if there's kinks in our armor, be careful, because the devil will get you there. So we're taking a stand here, and because we're taking a stand, the devil can come after, and he'll use people to come after us. So just be ready, be prayed up. We're more than conquerors. Nothing's impossible for us. We are who we are, but we got to be really who we say we are. You know, we got to be who we say we are, guys. All right. Subscribe, share, like. Hey, thank you very much.
Listen, if you're ever in the area, stop by and join us for Sunday morning worship or for Wednesday night Bible study. The youth also do their Wednesday night stuff just for them on Wednesday nights. We would love to have you. All are welcome here at New Life Temple. If you need us, give us a call, send us an email, leave a comment below. Whatever you need to do to get in touch with us, we are here in Spring Hope, and we are here to spread the love of Jesus and to preach the gospel and to help in any way we can. Listen, we're not asking for money. We're not asking for donations. We are just here to spread the gospel and to be the hands and feet of Jesus. Come join us. We'd love to have you. We have a great time studying the Word. We have a great time in worship. We are here for you. Stop by, check us out, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.